Morning, Village. Thank you for coming to our first staff meeting done visually. Unfortunately, participation was a bit difficult getting everyone together, so we thought we would try a video. So, welcome to the March 2024 staff meeting. I'll get this going because there's quite a bit to cover. And here we go. So, the agenda for this meeting is the internal audit outcomes that the company has undergone. I'll explain more in a bit on all of these. The upcoming training that we're going to see, the technology that the company is incorporating. We're going to discuss uniforms, have a training session on incidents and R&R. I'll explain more about that as well. So, internal audit outcomes. The Village over the past few months has been we've been looking at our legal obligations and how we're complying with those. You've all received letters by now requesting certain documentation as we start to digitize and ensure that we're complying with our legal obligations. So the company sent that out as part of the audit outcomes. Hoping to bring us into compliance and develop new compliance processes. What does it mean for staff? It's our first step towards starting to monitor compliance of the company. So we'll be able to prompt staff about their working with children checks, expiries coming up, develop those internal processes which are really important for a growing organisation. Surely there's more documents, as you've seen from the letter that was sent out to you. Contracts and employee handbook. So, as a derivative of the internal audit, contracts are being developed. Require a response to that letter that we sent out, so that we can accurately confirm everything in the contracts as being correct. And employee handbook is going to contain all of the workplace policies that the organisation is implementing. It's ready to go and be with you in a few days' time. Okay, moving on. Other than the policy stuff and compliance, we've got some upcoming training. Other than any core business training needs identified by the audit, we have some other stuff external to that. Why have more training? It's a great question. What a smart cookie. Because we are aiming to keep developing our childcare services umbrella. So there'll be some training regarding SunSmart, national child safe principles, things like that. We're going to be implementing. Mandatory reporting as well. That's another one. So we'll all be familiar with that. But don't worry, that's in our hands. We will release that as it goes. Okay, technology. We are going to the clouds. Come join me. So we'll be bringing in Google Drive to all service centers, where we all have 24/7 access to all documents and forms from wherever we happen to be. That will allow us to maintain cohesion with our forms and documents, which is really important, so that when we move from point A to point B, we're able to know exactly which form, where the forms are, and everywhere, and we can just print them off if we require them, or download them, and so forth. And also it allows us to make sure that the forms are the latest and most up to date. And the importance of that is that those forms get adjusted as regulations change and get introduced, and new policies and things like that. So each service will have its own folder as well, but we'll also have some shared places. There'll be a training session on all of this as we start to bring it in over the next few weeks. All background operational data will also be stored there. Okay, so that's all basically policies, procedures, compliance, documentation, staff records, all HR. So everything will be on the cloud. Uniforms. We're going to be bringing in uniforms, partly for branding and familiarity, consistency for children and families, especially those transitioning between LDC to OSH, or OSH to another OSH location. It's really important that children and families recognise who the members of staff are, as well as all other stakeholders really. Anyone coming in to the area can immediately identify someone from a uniform. I think we think that's really important. So we were planning on no badges, but I've since had a discussion with the RPs, and it's the RP's opinion that they would like badges, name badges. So we will relook at that, and go from there. Okay. So uniforms, we're thinking branded polo shirts with optional vests for those coming straight from another job. Optional vests because if you're wearing a dress, for example, at another job, you're coming straight over to the village, you may not be able to put a t-shirt over that, so we would have some vests in that case, to maintain that representation of the company. Okay, quick training session. This came out of an incident that we had, more than one incident, more like a learning experience really that we experienced over at one of the service centres. So the first point of that, one of our learnings, is that we no longer have safety plans at the village. We would like to never use that plan anymore, that word, terminology anymore. We have support plans. Safety, the decision behind that, the thinking behind that is that safety plans are developed used by department communities in safety plannings for family domestic violence. They're used by organisations such as Anglicare for safety planning in domestic violence situations. Really not appropriate to childcare and what we're doing with the children, to have that terminology transition into what we're doing with the kids. We're really trying to develop support plans which are safety based and safety focused generally, but they're also aimed at behaviour and challenges and nothing to do with family domestic violence. So this, having support plans, that's the terminology moving forward. Now they work in the same principle as safety plans. They're holistic, so we work with parents now and families. Families know their children better than anyone else, so they're the primary person who will support us in the development of safety planning, during the safety planning process of developing safety plans. It's always done in consultation. We don't act independently, and we can have other stakeholders involved as well, such as schools and so forth. However, we do require permission from parents if we're going to work with other external stakeholders beyond the family. Okay, so we also have lockdown records in the organisation, which I'll show you on the next page in case anyone hasn't seen them. We need them, one of our learnings is that we need them to contain a location, which Pretty will provide. She'll change the forms and include an area to insert location. Lockdown records need to contain more context about the incident. Like we had a lockdown record that wasn't attached at all to any incident that occurred. So we have very basic information on the lockdown records, which I'll show you in a minute. It's more to tick one of the two boxes. It's either happened for these reasons or one of these reasons. What we'd like is an incident report to be attached to that, so that it can always be linked to a situation that occurred that triggered a lockdown. Okay. Incident reports on owner must be created and then published. Otherwise, they just sit there unpublished, which means they don't go to the parent or the family. That's not ideal at all. So you need to untick the draft button. Thank you for showing me that. We're all learning here, and we'll get some proper training hopefully over the next coming months about owner specifically. Behaviour reports are also a thing. So a new thing, but a thing. Well, I guess they're kind of a new thing. I guess I'm not certain if everyone has these, every organisation has these, but it's quite clear to us that sometimes we have situations that we would like to record to inform our practice against a child. So a child may act in a certain way, definitely not an incident. nothing really happened, but it's an observation. It's an observation that we'd like to record in case there's, everything about recognizing behavior is about patterns of behavior. You can't identify patterns very well if you don't have a single place where you're recording individual behaviors that eventually form a pattern over time and frequency. So the behavior reports are something that we can have for any child. We can have a folder in every eventually on the cloud and soon, but also you can choose to have one in the center. The problem is a little bit about that is duplication, and that a child can move from one center to the other. So it's going to be better if we hold that on the cloud, I believe. And we're able to record those things. They can be shared with parents. So just the same with incident reports. We need to be objective. So it's what we see that we put down, not what our opinion is. And we won't disclose other children in behavior reports either, ideally. If we have to, then that means that can't be shared with a parent, and that's okay. We don't have to share it with the parent. That is for our own records. And if we ever decided, okay, well, we will release this to the parent and would like them to see it, to help them, say, after multiple behavior reports were done and several incidents happened, we're going to safety planning, support planning with a parent, and we'd like to demonstrate those behaviors. Okay, we also have these behaviors that we saw. There weren't incidents from them, but we recorded them to inform us about our practice with the child. So those behavior reports can be brought to light, but they need to have any identified children outside of the main child to be redacted. So ideally, we won't mention other children. We can just mention an other child, something along those lines. Okay, moving on to, this is a lockdown report. So as you can see, there on the first page, just below the title, there's no location on there. There's also, under type of emergency, there's no context. It's just an internal threat or an external threat. And nothing on these pages at all attaches to what incident triggered this. So we will have that added on there. Okay, incident, injury, trauma, and illness record. So this incident reports come directly, just as almost everything else, from the regulation. Incident, injury, trauma, and illness record is what is written in the regulation itself. So we have an incident report. What I've done is I've provided you that letter. Hopefully you've all seen it. I'll show you now, in case you haven't. So it's this one, incident report training. It was provided on the 5th of March, all about incident reporting. So this is the what, why, when, where, and how. I'm not going to go through it because I've provided it to you to read in your own time and to keep, in case you would like to refer to it. Let's see if I can continue from this one. Not even sure how to continue from here. So I will just come back to here, I suppose. Okay, so basically, if we that should answer any questions that you may have. However, if it doesn't, let's see what the next slide is. Okay, and we do have some trivia in a set. So I'll just go over something very quickly about support plans. So the type of plans that we have support plans. They're around safety planning and behavior planning. Okay, so support plans is number one. The second one is behavior reports. Those are to inform our practice with the child. And then we have the incident reports. A reporting of incidents for everyone involved in that incident. So if child A injured child B, we need an incident report for both children separately, not just the injured child. Okay, so the reason that we need one for both child A who injured child B is because we cannot identify other children other than the child of the incident report. So if we're saying child B was injured by child A, then we also need one separately for child A because these incident reports go to their families. So every family, we have the obligation to inform every family that their child was involved in an incident, whether they were the cause, if you like, of the incident, or whether they were the recipient of the behaviour which caused the incident. Both of them require incident reports. So the way that we do that is 2 incident reports. There are 2 reasons in there somewhere. One is about the need to communicate to both families, and the second one is because we are not able to share information of other children to a family. Alright, so true or false trivia. Incident reports don't include behaviour observations. Is that true or false? It's false, because they do. In fact, we don't specify our opinion, we specify observations of behaviours. So what happened, what behaviour was demonstrated, and that's what we say. So child A picked this up, not child A picked this up, which we think was da da da. I know most of you know this, but it's just a reminder for us all about how we write. Support plans go to the family. Absolutely. In fact, they're developed with the family, always. When making note of child behaviour, it is written in an incident report. Not really, no. The sole purpose of behaviour reports is to record child behaviour. If there is no incident, we can still record child behaviour in behaviour reports, which inform our practice for the future and may eventually inform support plans. But child behaviour is not necessarily something we need parents to sign. If there was no incident, there's no incident report. Okay, this is a good account for an incident report. This is all about writing now. So, this is a good account for an incident report. Is this true or false? Child A fell off the swing due to negligence on part of the supervising staff. It was apparent that the staff members were not attentive enough, leading to the child's injury. This incident could have been prevented if proper supervision and safety measures were in place. Is that good or not good? It's not good. Okay, second scenario. This is a good account for an incident report. True or false? While playing on the swings, child A lost balance and fell off, landing on the ground. Child A sustained a minor injury to the knee and was immediately attended to by staff members. First aid was administered and child A was comforted until the parent arrived for further care. There were no other children involved in the incident. That's a good incident report. It's objective. No opinion put in there. It's all about what happened, what behaviour was demonstrated, so what actions were taken. Okay, which brings us on to R&R. So, I'll bring up another slide for that one. Okay, we're really happy to announce the Employee Reward and Recognition Program. We've been working on this for quite a while, and we know that we really want to recognise staff and encourage the culture which we feel the village is a part of. A good culture, good strong culture, positive culture for everybody in the organisation. So the reward and recognition initiatives, the 3 initiatives are, first are general initiatives, the second are peer-to-peer initiatives, and the third are stewardship initiatives. I'll go into each one of them as we go. The general initiatives, so there are 2 general initiatives. The discounted childcare fees, these apply to everyone who is a permanent employee of the company, and to those who are actively working with us as casuals. So discounted childcare fees for currently engaged employees who are educators, teachers or cooks. They get 60% off our regular childcare fees. Now we know that there are there may be some employees who are currently engaged who receive discounted childcare fees. If you have any concerns about this, just speak to Pretty or myself. It's up to you. You know my number. You got my email. Okay, the second general initiative is birthday recognition and day off for all currently engaged employees. And provide a mini birthday celebration at the employees centre before or on their birthday. Business will provide treats. Additional for all permanent employees, paid day off for the employee on their birthday or within 30 days of their birthday. Adjustments may be necessary from both sides, but management will do their utmost to accommodate all date requests. So maybe the business can't provide it on a specific day, and maybe the employee doesn't want to take it on their birthday but would like to take it on another day. As long as it's within 30 days of the birthday, we could probably entertain that. We'll always talk. So those are the two general initiatives for the organisation. Alright, the peer-to-peer initiatives. This is where every employee gets to celebrate every other employee. Okay, Supportive Colleague Recognition Award. That's the first peer-to-peer initiative. The second one is the Above and Beyond Recognition Award. And the third one is the Creativity Recognition Award. So, who supported you this month? Who went above and beyond this month? And who came up with something new or interesting this month? I guess that's the soul behind these peer-to-peer initiatives, is to recognize ourselves and each other. Excuse me. Okay, collaboration for the win. I couldn't help myself with that picture. It's too cute. So, peer-to-peer initiatives. Each service has 3 sealed containers. Employees nominate any company employee, including from other centres, for an award throughout the month. During the staff meeting, the RP randomly selects one nomination and places it face down. If you're not holding monthly staff meetings, the RP can manage this on the day and communicate to anyone who's not there. The other nominations are read out and celebrated after one of them has already been put down. People who have been nominated select a bar of chocolate. All nominations go onto the reward and recognition board, which is coming to a centre near you probably today or tomorrow. The randomly selected nomination gets read out, and so the one that was put down, it gets read out, and the nominee receives a chocolate and their name is placed against the award trophy for the month. So each award has also got a trophy, and so they get that trophy for the month. Employees can also self-nominate. I'm not sure if that's entirely clear, but it's okay. It'll be explained to you all as it goes. It'll come with a bit of information, and any questions can be answered. Alright, so these are the peer-to-peer award trophies. They're on the way, they're in the post, so they're not here yet. Sorry about that. But the first trophy is for the Supportive Colleague Recognition Award. Is the top dog, which I thought was really cute. Above and Beyond Recognition Award trophy is winner chicken dinner. And the Creativity Recognition Award trophy is just a smiley face with a crown. So I thought that was pretty cute too. Alright, hopefully we can all have some fun with that. So, moving on to the final set of initiatives is the stewardship initiatives. We have 2 of these. So, Stewardship Initiative 1 is Employee of the Month Award. So management will select 1 employee per month from each service for their innovative approach, creative ideas, collaborative approach, and for going above and beyond. The awarding will be announced at the centre's monthly staff meeting, or every month, if no meetings are happening every month. All employees who worked at the centre that month are eligible, casual included. A certificate will be awarded and framed at the centre for the month, after which it is retained by the employee. A gift voucher of $50 is awarded from one of the 3 selected options. Are you happy with these options? You can just let me know. Orana Cinemas, the Temple Spa, Woolworths. If you have any ideas, we can select the top 3 and go from there. So that's the stewardship initiatives are both run by management, and they're part of the, again, it's all around culture, really. It's to create a good culture that is beneficial for everyone that works for the village, and to really hone in on those core areas. We see so many great endeavours, and the whole point of that are undertaken every day at the village from so many, and this is a way of recognizing those endeavors. It's not saying they're not happening, they're already happening. It's just recognizing them. Recognition is so important. Okay, the second stewardship initiative is, let's see if it comes up, Employee of the Year Award. So, one employee from each service is recognized each year by management based on client feedback following an end-of-year client survey, as well as based on general feedback and performance throughout the year. Management will look at staff's innovative approach, creative ideas, childcare approach, collaborative approach, and for going above and beyond. The awards will be announced at the end-of-year staff party. All employees who worked at the centre that year are eligible, including casual employees who still work for the company. A certificate will be awarded to each employee and framed at the centre for the year ahead, after which it is retained by the employee. A hamper worth $150 is awarded to each winner. And that's the Employee of the Year award. Just a note on birthdays, we've made a decision, that's one of the general things. We've made a decision to backdate that to January the 1st. So if you have had a birthday between January the 1st and now, we will, well, you've got a day off, and if you if you'd still like some cake, we'd be happy to provide some cake or some treats. Yeah, just talk to us. And that's the reward and recognition, employee reward and recognition program that is run by the village. There are other rewards, to be honest, or not rewards, more like that would fall into this program. Support employee initiatives, I suppose, but they'll be announced in due course as they come out. We've got a really strong emphasis on employees, so that is it. Hopefully that answers all your questions. It's everything that we wanted to communicate to you. We'll bring the reward and recognition board over, like I said, either today or tomorrow. Yeah, and thank you very much for your time and your attention. All the best. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Your RP has the details if you don't, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.